Scott did such a good job last week on meaningful conversations and the 7 magic questions. I thought we'd make it a little real tonight and talk a little bit about situations that any of you might have, or people you're thinking about talking to or have talked to that didn't go the way you wanted, or people on your chicken list that you haven't approached yet that you keep thinking you want to approach. Anybody, just kind of chime in and give us an example of somebody that you would like to be approaching and you haven't yet.
Let's make it a working session and a learning session, like we used to do. We used to have the sessions and we talk about examples and what we were saying or asking or. Okay. I just did a follow-up. It was Second Level that sponsored, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, at least.
And a very, very sharp lady. And we met with her and her husband, and they were actually looking at the business. But at the time when we presented Legacy, he wasn't seeing the money coming in fast enough. And so they kind of dwindled. And for a while, she continued to use quite a few products. She is an investigator for the
Public Defender's Office.
For the Public Defender's
in Greeley.
Office. Yeah, very sharp. And I really had connected with her, but it kind of like it does, people start ordering and then they stop ordering. So I connected with her the other day. And I brought my changing brand sheet. I brought the loyalty sheet. I brought that sheet that Brig did on why protein and longevity, that really sticky figure. Yeah.
Stick figure.
Stick figure. Stick finger, not sticky finger. Okay. But anyway, that really very simple drawing to really talk about protein and longevity, and then a protein sheet, and then the new marketing plan. And we drove an hour to Longmont, and she drove an hour from Greeley, and we met in Longmont. So I sat down and I just, she had not been doing any loyalty points. She orders 5 Vitalizer at a time because it's a discount. And just asked her some questions. I know you love the products, and just wondered what was going on. And she's busy. She has 3 children, ages 15, 10, and 9. And her husband basically takes care of them because she works really long hours for the government. And she loves her job, loves it. So by the time we got through, she's going on loyalty. She's going to connect with me often. She's willing to do Zoom, and she's willing to come on any Zoom events that I invite her to. So the major thing that's happened, I rebuild a relationship. I have gotten a commitment to more volume, and eventually that may lead to more business. So I think that's kind of my example for today, but I'm thinking for every one of us, we either can be reconnecting with our customers, or we're going to a networking meeting tomorrow morning, starting to connect to new people, and actually growing our business again. Just think about this. I'm 84 years old. I'm excited about growing my business and making a difference. How many people in this age actually think about that?
True.
That is cool. I like the mission possible this morning, the girl that spoke, Amber, about, creating that curiosity. So I was interested in that back office sending an email to, sometimes if you can't come up with someone new to talk to, you've always got those customers that are already using, and that's a good place to start because you've already garnered their interest. And I have several customers that just swear by Shaklee. There's some real, very, very loyal customers. So going into my back office and approaching them that way. And a couple of them I've already sent newsletters to about the BioCell Life. But this is about trying to garner that curiosity about the new products coming out that we're going to hear about at the conference. But that's different. That's kind of going through where you don't actually have to talk to them using an email, but calling people where they act interested 1 minute and then the next they go dark on you. I've had that happen to me recently where somebody was using the Shaklee and they just loved the Shaklee. That's all they did was talk about the products and how great they were. And then the next thing I know, I'm not hearing from her and she's not ordering. And then when I finally got in touch with her, she was going through a divorce and apparently her and her husband are trying to patch things up and get back together. So I was trying to give her the benefit, of having that time, because that's a very emotional thing to not only separate from your husband, but then now you're trying to get back and reconcile. So I think I've been kind of just leaving her alone. And I've been thinking lately, how do I kind of get her back? Because she was even interested in doing the business. So I don't know kind of how to approach her about calling her and how to.
So the first thing I would do, if it was me, is send her Cheer Up and Chill Out and a bottle of stress tabs and say, I am so sorry about all the challenges you're going through right now. I want you to know that I'm here to support you in any way I can. And hopefully this helps you get through some of it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but with the other people, I wouldn't email them. I would call them. That's what I did. I made a phone call and said, it's been a long time since we've chatted. I would love to find out what's going on in your life. And I just realized and I actually had the names of her children down and their ages. And I said, I'm sure that they have gotten a lot older since we've connected. And I am so sorry. Can we connect? Would you be open to having lunch with me? And that's how that happened. It didn't happen by email. It didn't happen by something coming in through the Shaklee site. It came from a personal touch.
Yeah. Well, that's some good ideas.
And by the way, Amber that was on the mission call this morning is our guest speaker next week.
Oh, really?
On this call.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. She is cute.
Yes, she is.
Young and
else? I'm hearing, I'm watching Terry going like this, but I can't hear you.
They talked about the curiosity thing last night on the last week on the executive call for executive coordinators. They talked about that a lot. But I have a customer that I met with, 2 gals. One has been ordering that the other one has not. She ordered once and did the 5-day reset. And I've tried calling, I've emailed, I've texted, I've sent newsletters, and I can't get any kind of response from her, like one way or the other.
If somebody is totally ghosting you, I would put it on the back burner for a while and connect with somebody that will respond to you.
In fact, I would literally let them know you're putting them on the back burner. I've had that happen many, many times. And I will send a final email and I say, I know there's a fine line between being persistent and being a pest. I don't want to be a pest. If you have any interest at all, the ball's in your court. You'll need to touch base with me. I look forward to hearing from you. But
Okay.
you let them know that you're not going to keep chasing them. So if
Okay.
there is an interest there, fine. And if there's not, now you're on to better things, like Aldana says.
Yeah, I will do that. Thank you. And I had an email from a gal. I sent out emails letting people know about the 20% off sale.
Yeah.
I sent all that out yesterday and I got an email back. She's the daughter of, she was one of Mom's customers, but a good friend of Mary Hager. And she goes, oh my gosh, we've got to talk. So I'm waiting. I don't have her
That's
phone number.
exciting.
I know. I don't have her number, but she's got mine. So I told her, I said, call me or let me know your number and I'll call you. So that was pretty cool.
So if you go into your profile and click on team and click on her name, you will have her phone number and her email.
I have her email, but I don't have her phone.
But on her profile,
Okay, it will have that.
sponsored, it will have her phone number.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
you can call her and say how excited I am to meet you.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting when people reconnect.
Yeah.
It was exciting, like Lorraine said, she had an older customer put in a big order unexpectedly or expectedly because you probably followed up. But, you know, it's making this business fun is what it's all about, really.
Yeah. You
And-
know, I've said
And taking care
before,
of your people.
yeah.
Part of it is that people have gotten so immersed in screen time, whatever that looks like for them, that real human connection, there are a lot of people that are craving that. And if you reach out, you'll find that an awful lot of people are very receptive to actually sitting down across the table with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatever and having a real conversation with a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One-on-one. Yep.
May I throw something in here?
Please, go
Absolutely,
ahead,
please
Stephen.
do.
So, because I'm more on the other side, I'm on the receiving end,
Mhm.
and I'm hearing something here that Rick kind of alluded to that just now a little bit, but I think most of you are not aware of that. There's some people, when I receive an email from them, automatically, I don't have to think about it. What's automatically there is, oh, they just want to sell me something. And it goes so fast. And I think there's a lot that you don't intend to relay that to people, but it's like, because every time you talk to people, it's like, yeah, it's about this Shaklee product and that Shaklee product. Okay, can we talk about anything else other than Shaklee products? You know, when Ryan and I meet, for example, when Ryan and I meet, we talk about all kinds of different things. And every few months we go out for, having dinner, and either his wife is with us or not. But, we talk about our businesses. We talk about his dad. We talk about, my family. We rant and all that kind of stuff. And then he's interested in how I'm doing, with my business, physically, all those different things. And that's where I see Shaklee come in then. Same with Scott. I mean, it's usually that I like Scott's expertise. I seek Scott's expertise. And sometimes he might say something when, we are in the same leads group. He might say something in his commercial, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You said something here. Tell me more about that. But I'd encourage you to really be interested in the people and their health and how they're doing.
Exactly.
And like what I was thinking of as you were talking, I learned that a few years ago. I'm not a good marketer, but so I've been interested in marketing for a few years to learn. And in email marketing, there was this one guy who was very successful with email marketing, and he said, if you send every email with an offer, people will not open your emails again. And so he made the rule for himself. It's like 2-3 emails with pure value until the next offer, maybe even 1 or 2 other emails, and then the offer. But not every email has an offer. And I really like that. Anyway, I thought, I'll throw that in for whatever's.
But I think that's really valuable, Stephen, because I think too often a lot of people are more concerned about the sale than they are about the person. And that's why we spend so much time talking about the 7 magic questions and how to have a meaningful conversation, really find out what's going on with the person before you try to convince them that Shaklee is the solution to all their problems. So
Exactly.
I appreciate you sharing that. I think that's really valuable.
Well, it's just like with this, with Yolanda that we met today. I got updated on how old her children are, what they're doing, what's important. We found out that her 15-year-old would really get value from Rick's sports nutrition because he's a runner, and she wants to put him in a program. And then she really, even though I mailed her information about loyalty, she never understood it. And what I offered her is a way to get free products. And there was like immense for her because 3 children, she needs to budget. And I don't know how many of our customers aren't aware of the benefit of those free products, and just even getting back to them about that makes such a difference to help them. So thank you.
Well, and to that note, I can tell you there's a lot of information available, but that means I need to read it.
Exactly.
And it sounds weird, but I don't like to read. Seriously.
That describes most people out there. So
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But that's why I like to sit down with Scott and he explains things to me. And it's like, oh, that makes total sense.
But your description of emails, I think, applies to all of us, because I think about when I get up in the morning and I get down to the, after our prayer time and go to the computer to check email, and I can delete 30 emails in about 8 seconds. And because I know who they're from, I know what they're pitching, and I know I'm not interested, gone, just like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, and you already know that all they're interested in is getting your money. They're not interested in you.
Exactly. Shirley, you look like you're just chomping at the bit to say something.
I hope I don't look like that. That's like, can't wait to speak before the other person's done. I'm sorry, and I didn't mean that. But
really, I mean, you're one of the people that is so good at following up with people. Just share a little bit about the kind of stuff we've been talking about here.
Well, today I have spent a lot of time sending out messages about the new friends and family sale, which is coming up. So that took some time, and then writing some notes with that. But it is so important to follow up, just how they're getting their orders. And every time I get an order in, I immediately respond back to them with notes about them. How are you doing with this or that, or your family, and are you feeling good? And your daughter's in college, or now she's in Europe for the summer and whatever. So all that kind of stuff. But I got a postcard recently from a local realtor. She's from a well-to-do family. I have never met her. I know of her. And she sent me a postcard. This is the old-fashioned way. saying, I would love to meet you and help you with your real estate needs. Well, I don't have any real estate needs, but I wrote her back. I got her information off of here. And many years ago, when I was in a networking group, there was a gal in the group who recommended her father as being someone interested in nutrition. So I was given his name, and I honestly can't remember whether we ever made contact or not. He travels a lot and he was gone. I kind of think we did, but I'm not sure if he ever bought anything, because if he did, I'd have his name written down somewhere. But again, he's kind of a prominent man. So I wrote her back and said kind of that briefly. I was referred to your father many years ago. I have a business. I could help with needs too, nutrition needs, because she used the word needs.
Oh,
So anyway, and then she responded back. I just got a text from her and she said, yeah, we should get together and meet. But I did let her know that my business is nutrition, because that was the referral. So she knows that before we sit down, which I like that too.
That's great.
You know. So anyway, but this is kind of unusual to get these kind of cards these days. You know, usually it's online stuff and whatever. But anyway, it's just a chance to, contact somebody. The business that we're in is contacting people and doing it as one-on-one as you can do it. So we will get together and one-on-one and discuss different needs. But anyway, just wanted to share that.
Well, I appreciate that, because I think, and Stephen would appreciate this too, because being in LaTip, one of the things that people in networking groups are taught to do is sit down one-on-one with other members of the group and learn how you can support each other.
Right.
And that's exactly what you're doing, even though it didn't come out of a networking group.
Right.
But I think if the approach always is first learn what you can do to help them before the conversation shifts to what's going on in their life where you might be able to help with Clay.
Yeah.
You know, people respond dramatically differently than if they just think you're there to sell something, like Stephen said.
Yeah. And I think bringing up the Stephen LaTip or the BNI groups, which I was in, I think the training is really good in there, in that, as Rick just said, we are trained. And I mean, it is mandatory and wonderful that you sit down with people one-on-one. And as you were saying, you don't like to read anything. I have a very good client, 30 plus year client, who doesn't like to read anything either. She orders everything, and she said, that's what I have you for. You just tell me what I need and what this thing does, and I'll order it. So very easy.
There you go.
And by the way, one thing I wanted to add to the one-on-one, one thing that we're encouraged to do is in the one-on-one, have it not only about the business, but have it about the actual person.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
Like I remember the first time Scott and I sat down, we sat down and he said, okay, tell me everything. I want to know like he wanted to know where I was born, how I got to the US.
Where were you born?
I was born in Sweden.
Okay. Thank you.
But I'm German. So my parents, being German, lived in Sweden at the time. They were architects. You know, in Germany after the war, there was not much left. And so they wanted to go where architects can do architecture and design.
Oh,
and stuff.
good.
So they went to Sweden. And then at some point they said, yeah, I think we've got enough of Sweden. So let's go back to Germany. And I grew up, it's called Lake Constance, and it's on the border to Austria and Switzerland. So I had lake. Yeah. It's the biggest lake of Europe, and wonderful mountain view and all that. And then I lived in Switzerland. I lived in the UK, and then I moved here. So, but you know, there is the point with the one-on-ones, for us at least, is really to understand what's important to that other person. How do they think? How do they operate? Because that's then who I refer. You know, when I refer someone to you, Shirley, it's not just there is a business robot coming along. No, there's a person coming along.
Yeah.
And if I know that this person doesn't stop working until the thing is done the right way, that's a level of integrity that is important to me. And if I know that they're like, yeah, if it doesn't work, so yeah, I know that I'm not going to refer them.
Yeah, that's right. Need to be sincere about
Yeah. And that's just one example. And you only get to know that when you really have those conversations with people. That's the way I see it.
I agree with you.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to add or ask about before we call it a night?
I just would like a tip about how to get people's interest when you're doing other things, because I started this little, what I call jam-a-size class at the gym I go to, and I try to figure out how to get the ladies interested in my protein shakes and in my energy drink, because I'm always drinking through the process, and they're like, "What are you drinking?" And I'm like, "This is a recovery drink, with the Shaklee Performance." So I just always have I don't know, a reservation, I guess you could say, with how to get them interested in using what I use.
Well, let's
for.
back up the truck a little bit, Sheila, because what we've been talking about all night is how about if you just say, I'd like to get to know you better. Can we just sit down over a cup of coffee?
Absolutely.
Okay. And Shaklee isn't even part of the conversation
Especially
until
the
you've gotten
first,
to know them.
yeah. The first time you meet, you just exactly what Steve was saying, get to know them, find out what their lives are about, what they're interested in. And then if they ask you at that time, what is it that you're drinking, you can say, well, I've been taking this product for X amount of years, and I really feel it makes a difference for me. And if you're interested, we can get together another time.
Mm.
Don't pursue it anymore at that first meeting.
But if your initial interaction with them is trying to figure out how to get them to buy Shaklee,
It's not going to
it's
work.
exactly what Stephen was talking about. It's a total turnoff to people.
Well,
Okay.
that's one of the reasons I don't take it any further. I just say this is what I'm drinking, but I don't. Then
Yeah,
I'm
and now it's
wanting
just,
feedback
let's
from
sit down
them.
over a cup of coffee
But
and get to
getting
know
to-
each other.
One-on-one.
Getting to know them one-on-one is the first step.
Sheila,
you.
the moment you tell me that it's the Shaklee thing, I already hear the whole thing. I already know that you want to sell me that.
Gotcha.
That's why, if you just say it's an energy drink I really love and it's awesome, just leave it there. And if they're interested in the drink and they want to, they maybe ask where you got it, and then you say, well, I sell them actually, like that.
Yeah.
But that's a total different intro.
Yes. Yes. They're asking. I'm not
Exactly.
trying to. Yeah. I'll keep, because it's always in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Always.
Just get together with them.
It's not in the back of your head. It's written up here.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem.
Always build the relationship and the trust.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot of good stuff. But Stephen, I really appreciate your input tonight. I think that's very valuable for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, gang. Now we have Amber Kuiper as our guest speaker next week. So if you've got anybody that even has the remotest interest in the opportunity part of Shaklee, you'll want them to hear Amber.
And Rick will get a flyer out tomorrow or the day after.
Or the day after. One of the other. But soon.
Sounds good.
So he'll get the flyer out soon.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
night.
Joanne and Sheila and everybody.
Bye,
Thank you.
Shirley. We'll talk. Shirley, we'll talk this week.
Okay.
We got to
Very-
talk. All right. Bye.